Hey soul family, I'm here with another message. No matter which way I turn, I can't avoid this glare. I'm just going to turn my head a little bit or just deal with it. So I'm here to encourage all of you who've endured narcissistic abuse to try to be thankful for what the narcissist puts you through, and send them some thanks through the ethers from all the lessons that they taught you, the pain and the heartbreak and the agony of dealing with a narcissistic relationship. Hopefully, if you're wise enough to learn the lessons in it, you would have seen that you maybe have a lot more self-worth now, a lot better boundaries, a lot less tolerance for BS, and a lot more willingness to speak your truth and to stick up for yourself, because you've had to learn how to do that. I'm sorry, the glare is just really pissing me off. And I got my rose colored glasses on because I'm trying to really speak in love, because narcissistic abuse really pisses me off, and toxic people hurt people. There's just a lot of behaviors that narcissists have that even just unhealed, wounded, good people can have. But, there are a lot of lessons to be learned from the pain of heartbreak, whether it's through narcissistic relationship or just damaged people going out and breaking hearts. And when I got here to record, my heart necklace was actually upside down like this, and I had to turn it around. So I think some of us also need to be less codependent on the person that we're with and stick and be dependent on the ideal of what a relationship is supposed to look like. That fairy tale romance. I think we need to hold out for more of that and not settle in relationship. We can get so attached, and, because we love people, we can get so attached to them that we can actually learn to endure toxic crap because we're so attached to the person, instead of being willing to say no or walk away when somebody's hurting us or disrespecting us. I'm just not talking about little things, but just like true pain and betrayal and people spreading more trauma. I just got done watching the movie Odyssey, and in the movie, Matt Damon's character is like 20 years, I think, trying to get back home to his wife and son, and the wife has been waiting too. Other suitors have been coming to try to take her hand in marriage, and she's holding out for that hope, that love, that true love that she had with her husband, and believing she didn't know if he was alive or dead. And then when I was actually going to record too, I heard the song by Santana and the product G and B, Maria, and I don't know why that came to be, but the song is like, Maria, she reminds me of a West Side Story. Growing up in Spanish Harlem, she's living the life just like a movie star. And then one part is like, stop the looting and the shooting, pickpocketing on the corner. See as the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. The section I think that matters most is, when the wind blows, I feel you through the weather, and even when we're apart, still feels like we're together. So I feel like I don't know how that really applied, and I just asked my guides, and how can apply is that we can hold out hope, and you can feel that potential partner of your dreams even when you're apart, even through past pain and failed relationships. And every heartbreak you faced hopefully allows you to level up in love and to activate a certain part of yourself that maybe was dormant, that you will need to be able to hold this kind of love and to call this kind of love in. And I'm an expert on healing through heartbreak. I've had my fair share of not only just narcissistic abuse, but just also wounded people that haven't healed from their trauma, that don't know themselves, that don't have that self-awareness to really analyze how they show up and be humble enough to heal and have that awakening in them. And sometimes you don't see that right away in people as well. Sometimes if you're like me, an empath, I can kind of see into the potential of somebody, and I do believe that initially that love can activate people to a higher state of consciousness in themselves, but then sometimes people can't hold that frequency for long enough to sustain that and hold that gift and carry that through to hold that kind of love. Don't have the capacity. They might call it in, their higher self might call it in, and God might call it in and bring that blessing to them, but it's also just about knowing how to show up and do the work and have the tough conversations and heal together, right? And not everybody has the capacity for that, and it's hard to know that right in the beginning, which is why it's really good to take your time to get to know somebody and see how they can navigate conversations and situations and tough times and stuff like that, weathering those storms together. But but I was going to say, like, sometimes those toxic behaviors of wounded people can manifest a lot like narcissistic abuse, and it is really hard to know. I mean, I do truly believe that wounded people can heal, people with trauma can heal, and attachment issues can heal. Even some toxic behaviors, people can change unless they're a negative soul, unless they've chosen at a soul level to cut themselves off from divine source energy and have to then take energy from others. And that's where, like, the lying and manipulating and gaslighting and, like, those playbook, there's a difference. Like, narcissists are intentionally doing that, and it's not really a insecurity, self-worth issue, which is like a lot of wounded people have, like the attachment. Sometimes when I yawn, it's like releasing fear and energy in the collective. So hopefully that this will help awaken you and enlighten you on your path as well to your healing journey. That the narcissist template is definitely different than like a more of emotional mental health disorder. It's more of a soul disorder, and only way to know for sure is by taking my soul quality test at thezenzone@mail.com, where I will use the wisdom of the Akashic records, which is like the soul records, to check and see if somebody is a negative soul. If they are, I would really encourage you to run for the hills and just not get close. And sometimes it's hard to completely, like, cut yourself off from those, people, their family and whatnot, but to just know what you're dealing with and kind of just be able to protect yourself a little bit more and have some better boundaries. And then if they are a positive soul, sometimes they can just be in their wounded self and they need that time to heal and grow. And maybe that partnership can come back in line when there's a higher alignment, or through therapy and things like that. I believe those, types of people can heal through traditional therapies and modalities and things like that. If it's a more of a mental health or emotional health issue, or even like, substance abuse, is often just, from trauma that's unhealed and people using things to cope. So it's hard to know what you're dealing with, but I don't know about you. I like to hold out for that ideal in love. And I've learned to be thankful for all the past heartbreak and pain. I mean, I even been with a partner who tried to poison me. So I can sit here and smile and laugh and play still. I don't know how, but through the grace of God. And honestly, my isolation time and my healing and my dark night of the soul and my spiritual awakening, I know my angels and God and Jesus were with me through all of it, because that's when I was parting from that partner. That's when a lot of my spiritual gifts came online. I started hearing things and getting visions and waking up in the night, having dreams, things like that, of things to be thinking about to prepare myself. And even recently, just prayed for God to show me things and to reveal things to me and truths to me, and he did. Is that Jeremiah 33:3? I will show you unknowable things that you did not know, or something like that. If you just trust in the Lord and in those dark days and not lean on people, but your own intuition and God, and sometimes that's all you have. And through that kind of thing, not a lot of people understand narcissistic abuse. But lean on your spiritual support if you don't have the people in your life that you feel safe with or that would understand you, until you can get to the point where you feel safe and secure enough to get back out there and get close to people again, but even still have discernment, right? You need to be wiser now, have discernment, and it's hard when you go through narcissistic abuse to not have your eyes wide open. I didn't realize that people could be like that. I didn't realize that somebody could be sleeping in bed with you and be wanting to harm you, and somebody who supposedly claims to love you. I thought those were like serial killer type people or whatever that in the movies that are capable of sadistic things, but no, human beings too, especially if they have a negative soul, they've chosen to cut themselves off from divine source energy and their intuition and their conscience. Well, I would argue they do have intuition, but for more the dark side, it's their conscience. They've abdicated that, and so they do still have to have energy to survive. And so the way they get it is not through their spiritual practices and their connection to the Lord and God, but and their divinity, but to take it from others. That's where the lying, the manipulating, the gaslighting, and like there's a variation of levels of that, kind of like a spectrum, I believe, like narcissist, sociopath, psychopaths. And I mean, I feel like the longer a soul exists in that abdicating that their soul like that opens them up for more demonic attacks as well, and demonic possession and things like that, which is where the really evil things come into play. That's my take and what God has shown me. So reach me at thezenzone@mail.com if you would like to test the quality of somebody's soul in your sphere to see what you're dealing with, and help you put that to rest, because I don't know about you, but I don't need any more heartbreak, relationship trauma. I honestly believe if more of us could be seeing things with spiritual eyes, and have the wisdom to know who and what to get aligned with, it would really help us all on our journey to avoid more pain and trauma and betrayal. And oftentimes it's hard if you've had your own trauma to like trust your own intuition in your body. Sometimes your body doesn't feel safe with good people because all you've known is toxicity. And sometimes your intuition can trick you into, moving away from good things because you are scared or out of fear and things like that. So it's really hard to know and trust your own intuition sometimes, especially if you've been through pain and trauma. Like what's the Lord speaking? What's your own, what's your fear speaking, your ego, things like that. So for me, it's just, you should try to, have as many things come online as you can, your own intuition, and praying and getting in the Bible and the word and like asking other people, their opinion that you trust and things like that. But really the wisdom is at the energetic level. So, you could be asking somebody, because I know too, like I've had a lot of situations, my most recent one too, where like it was a good thing. I do believe it was a divine gift. And, you start telling too many people about this gift, and they start putting their 2 cents in. And if they're people that you really trust and that you kind of codependent on their opinions and validation and stuff like that, it can steer you away. That's what I believe was part of what happened with my last thing, is too many people were involved in giving their opinions, and the person was easily swayed and not strong enough in themselves yet with the Lord and their own intuition, and sabotaged things, to their own fear and their ego and things like that. So it's best to kind of keep quiet, maybe, or take the opinion of others, but really check it against the wisdom of your own soul and what God is showing you through dreams and visions. And if you're, and then just trust that God, I actually, when I had a really long-term relationship, I was really always feeling off, and I was feeling uneasy and crying a lot and having unresolved conflict, that just felt me feeling very defeated. And I kind of just figured this is the way it's going to be. I felt kind of trapped, but I didn't also feel I didn't feel like I was okay to leave. And I just really felt like I needed more answers. I needed more truth and more wisdom before I could really know what I was feeling was true, because I wasn't strong in myself enough. And of course, when you're dealing with narcissistic people, they don't want you to be strong in yourself and trust your intuition, and they want you to abdicate a lot of that, and then they want that control. So And of course, they wouldn't want you to really see what they're up to because a lot of their existence is on lies and illusion, gaslighting, things like that, intentionally. And they actually get off on it. I truly believe that. And I've got my rose-colored glasses on. I'm speaking in love because I really truly feel like knowing who somebody is for exactly who they are is a very loving thing to do. And knowing the truth of a situation or who someone is really, really important, that we stick in reality and not just on the potential of someone or because we love them and things like that and what we're attached to with them. But anyways, when I was contemplating things and was just feeling really off and just really sad all the time, I just started to pray, like, God, something's off. I don't feel right about the situation. Please show me what I'm missing. Please show me who this person really is. And it wasn't right away, but it was in time. I slowly kind of started seeing things, like little things like, that was weird, or like seeing through some illusions or like some little tiny things. And then it was flash forward maybe 6 months, and really the real shit went down, and I was caught not my person, but that person in a bunch of lies. And I heard in my mind's eye, kind of, it wasn't really an audible, it was like my thoughts were interrupted by someone else's thoughts, and it was spirit, God, divine leading me. And I heard, you wanted to find out the truth tonight, so tonight you're going to find out the truth. And then a turn of events happened, and I went on kind of like a little digging hunt, spy mission kind of, and found out more things. And honestly, it was just like the beginning of the end. It was like an unraveling of basically the person I was with was living a double life, and I was in a long con, basically. So that was a very, very painful process, but the Lord showed and revealed things to me slowly. That was the first day of it. But I had asked, so don't be careful what you wish for and ask for, but also trust that God will reveal what you need to know if you're truly seeking. Jeremiah 33:3. I will reveal like unknowable things or something like that. It's like along the lines of like the things that you don't know, that you think but you just aren't sure, and you want that clarification and that, like, what's it when you kind of like want to have that double sense of security or like confirmation, basically. So I'm going to end there. But if you are like me and are just really sick of past, more pain and more trauma, you've had your fair share, and you want your winning season, I really truly believe that we can't really call in the abundance and the blessings that God has for us if we have toxic people around us that are going to be lying or betraying us. And it's really hard to know. Most people are acting out of their ego and not their awakened self. And it's up to us to awaken ourselves first and make our environments as peaceful and open to receive the blessings that we have, and safe enough to receive, by being discerning of who we allow in. And I can help you with that soul quality test. That is my passion project right now. I really truly believe that we need to start seeing things with spiritual eyes, and it's not just mental and emotional health issues that we have to worry about. It's spiritual health issues that we have to worry about, and really knowing who somebody is at a soul level is more important to me, honestly, than somebody's trauma, because people can get through their traumas and they can heal if they want to, and their addictions even. Like, who they are at a soul level is really, really important. And then you can at least know what you're up against and know if you should even try to give somebody a chance and its place in your life. So see me at the Zen Zone at mail.com, MAIL, not gmail.com, for that test. Okay. Good luck out there. Keep the rose-colored glasses on, because it's really good to love people see people for who exactly they are. That's a loving thing to do, but also for yourself, to love yourself enough to choose yourself and to not be so codependent, so dependent on a certain person to fill that place in your life, that kind of love that you want, or that partnership, but that ideal of what you want that to look like and feel like, and what you think you deserve. And sometimes every heartbreak helps you level up and activate a certain part of yourself to hold more self-worth and love and like know what you want. And like that's what it's been like for me is like every time I'm like, okay, that was kind of a train wreck. I definitely don't want that. Or like I like this about the situation, but not this. And whoa, that I called that in and that served me for a certain time, was what helped me with what I needed, or like it did introduce me to some part of myself. And that's the thing too, is like relationships can awaken a part of you, and we can also like be so attached to a person, but we might just be really attaching to the version of ourselves that we got to be with them, and like hold on to that, right? Choose yourself and hold on to that. And sometimes people can come back around in a more healed version. That's fine too. But we got to keep choosing ourselves, and being okay with walking away when somebody's not coming correct and not making things right. And that's really important. And not enough of us are doing that. We're settling because we don't want to be lonely, or we need somebody for resources, or somebody we feel like that's what is expected of us, or what our parents would want us to do, or like society or whatever. So just keep choosing you and leveling up, and let each heartbreak and pain and betrayal, even from a narcissist or toxic person, to feel the feelings, of course, grieve and sit in the loss if you need to, because that's real too. We're human beings. But then pick yourself back up and choose yourself and keep moving. And every time you do that and you heal, and you're creating a vibration around you to call in the right people who will love you and support you. And that can be felt. Those reverberations can be felt in the ethers, kind of like that Maria song. Harvey's like, I can feel you in the weather when we're not together. And your soulmate is out there and wanting to call you in as well. And maybe they're waiting for you to finish like certain levels of healing and activating parts of yourself that need to be whole in your own self before you can hold that blessing and give fully of yourself without losing yourself in the process. Okay, end rant. Have a good night. I'll talk soon. Bye.